Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the morning conversations about trucks and cars and SUVs and and barking dogs. And look at that pond. That's just a beautiful pond. It's just a beautiful pond until the lily pads overtake it. The lily pads overtake that thing in the June months, hotter months. Yeah, good morning there, everybody. Hey, thanks for tuning my channel. And appreciate your support, nice comments, and listen to my conversations and talking about different things. And that's what it is today. Come on, baby, let's go. Come on. And it's all about getting these dogs in. I mean, it's all about getting dogs in. Come on, baby. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go. Let's get the dogs over to the barn as we cascade over through the cars and trucks. And come on, pups. Come on, Willow. Come on, Willow, let's go. Come on. Everybody get in the barn. Everybody go to the barn. Can you make my life easy this morning? Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, Ginger. Ginger. Oh, it's just never ending. Yeah, look at all the vehicles here. It's so interesting. I thought to myself this morning, what do we talk about today? We say we, right? Anybody watch my channel be like, wait, what do you mean we? We just listen to you. We don't get to participate and talk. Well, you do. Come on, Willow. Willow, what are you up to? Willow. See, here we go. The dog, here he is on a mission. Look at that beautiful Grand Wagoneer. I just really like that vehicle. And yeah, so the morning conversations, I thought to myself, wow, we talk so much about all these cars and trucks, but yet I thought to myself, wow, what about the motorcycles? I don't think, come on, Ginger, let's go, come on, get in the barn. Willow! Yeah, the project. And you watch my channel. Like, yeah, this is every morning. Hey, got the lightning truck plugged in. The garage didn't burn down. I don't disagree. If I had any sense, I would relocate that plug to a GFI style plug right out here and park my truck out here and charge it so the thing catches on fire, doesn't ruin all my worldly possessions. I mean, I don't disagree, but one thing about this truck, I usually let it sit a long time before I plug it in. That's typically the way I use it. I mean, I don't feel good about running this thing hard and plugging it in. And then another thing is it's a fast charging chargers are burning cars up. You know, I don't have the fast charging. I have the slow charging. 220, not that super power. So that's a whole other thing. Here's Willow. So I'm thinking to myself, why don't I talk about the motorcycles? Because I really don't. I show a lot of videos of the daughter and I riding the motorcycles. But I got to thinking, it's incredible how many vehicles I bought last year. Come on, get in. Get in. And it's just hard to believe that last year I bought 5 Harleys. Come on, Will. Good boy. Good. Came in. Yeah, I mean, wow. So anyways, let's get up here in the office, get my coffee, get the morning going. Come on, puppy. Just a beautiful weather up here, but it is cool. It's cooled down, which actually I like that. I just don't like when it goes really being hot up here. So I think I'll leave the windows open just because it keeps the room aired out a little bit. And yeah, so anyways, let's talk about motorcycles today. And I think the triple win, I think I'll roll this one up just because it's me drafty on me. Let's turn my heater on. Let's get the phone into its cradle here without turning it off that my wife gave me. I think it needs to be up a little higher. People are like, yeah, am I talking down to people in more than one way? Some claim that. Like, he talks down to people. I don't mean to. I mean, I'm not really, that's not who I am. I enjoy hearing conversations of others. And really weird, a guy pulled up to my house last night. And I don't know who this person is, but anyways, he stopped in and he was a nice man and started talking. We talked forever. Very intrigued by all my cars. So anyways, yeah, the motorcycles. And if you're following my channel, you'll see that I bought a new Honda Goldwing. So I mean, right now, I haven't even thought of this. I'm not embellishing here to make it sound like I'm just a special, unique Elon Musk Jr. I mean, you know, I have that, you know, I mean, what is going on with Elon Musk? Wow. And Tesla and the world. So I got to think in the Honda Goldwing. And one of the guys had intrigued this. Somebody commented, hey, man, that 2018 Goldwing used to own, it wasn't that bronze. I can't even remember what he what he's. I mean, I can't keep track. I respond to the guys like, I've owned probably 100 vehicles since I purchased that Honda Goldwing. For me to be able to remember every fine detail of all these cars, vehicles, I just can't do it. It's just too much information. It's like too much information. It's like having 100 students sitting in front of you, and you can remember every single kid's name and, life story and what color shirt they wore yesterday. I mean, yeah, right. So anyways, yeah, just let's think back. And even for me, this is kind of like a brain fart, I guess you could say. I haven't had no coffee. Get my coffee going. So I start coughing, right? So last year, I think it was last summer, it was last June, I think, I traded my one Indian Roadmaster for a new Indian Challenger Elite Series. So that was number one, if I'm correct. So that was the first Indian motorcycle I bought. But prior to that, I bought my brother a Harley Davidson used Police Street Glide edition motorcycle. I think in 2016, down in Florida, like April. So then you go through the summer, and I was waiting for my Pursuit. So there's two bikes, right? There's two bikes. Then I was waiting for my Pursuit to come in. If you watch that Labor Day weekend whole In Pursuit of Happiness turned into Pursuit of Harley Davidson. So I bought two Harleys down there in Tennessee. Right? 2 plus 2. What the hell is on my calculator? Can't you even count? So then I came back home and I bought the CVO Limited plus 1. Yeah, so we're up to 5, right? My calculator's so screwed up. So we're up to 5. And, yeah, okay, so there's 5. And then I see just a total mind blank. Then I went to Florida and I bought the Bobber. The Chief Bobber, so that's 6. And then after Christmas, I went back and I bought the CVO Harley Road Glide, that's 7. And then I bought the first part of the year, the Super Chief Limited, so that's at 8. 8, right? And I just bought, and then I came back and I traded out my other Hondas for the Fury and the Rebel. So that's 10. Then I bought the Goldwing. That's 11. So right now, so in the last year, I have purchased 11 motorcycles. Wow. And even with me saying that, did I, forget about the Honda Africa Twin that I bought last year? Yeah, I think I did. And the Honda, I can't remember. So that would be 12. I would have to say 12. So anyways, what's about the motorcycles? Well, for me, it's just incredible how the motorcycling, when I was just a little kid, anybody here is a motorcycle enthusiast. I think many here can relate with this story. You were a kid. Were you just so intrigued to get on a two-wheel item, whether it be a bicycle or a motorcycle or a moped, 3-wheel, whatever it may be? So just when I was a kid, and I can remember in 1971, my dad bought my brother a Honda 50. My brother begged for that Honda, and we found a really nice. We found a used one, and so my brother's older than me. My brother is like 8 years older than me. So there's a big spread in age. Anybody who grows up in a family, knows that's a big spread. When I'm just getting going, he's just getting out of high school. So anyways, to this day, this is my brother. My brother, he's a character. So I ride that little Honda 50. And so I was thinking about this. I'm like 8 years old. And my brother, he's like 15 years old, 16 years old, riding a Honda 50. I mean, think that through. Even for me, I'm thinking, no way. Wow. That's crazy to think how old my brother was riding a Honda 50. But that's all my dad could afford to buy him at that time. The first motorcycle. Little dirt bike. And so I'm riding that damn dirt bike. And my brother, for whatever reason, he's up on my brother liked to throw things. I remember him taking me to Apple Orchard in Massachusetts, and all the kids hiding down the apple orchard, wailing apples at cars that went by. Yeah. Then my brother, I was like, 5 years old. I can remember my brother carrying me down there as I watched him do this. And I can remember him carrying back as they were running away. As one guy in a convertible got nailed and he pulled over and started chasing everybody. Just as a 5-year-old kid, I can remember this stuff, right? So now, some of my brothers, what is it with the kids wanting to just throw things, right? Baseballs, footballs, rocks, yeah, axes, yikes. Yeah, have you heard those stories lately? So anyways, my brother's on a dirt, we live in a neighborhood where they're building houses. And so my brother's up on this dirt mound behind the hill hiding. And as I go zooming by, he picks up like a big old compacted dirt or rock. And he wails it at me. And it hits my testicles. It nails me right between my freaking legs. Oh my gosh, I'm like down on the ground. I'm now, in dire. So my brother, the odds of my brother throwing that rock to perfectly hit me. Oh my gosh, you talk about being in pain. I'm moving along on a little dirt bike, and then the trajectory of him throwing that thing, Jesus Christ. So then I remember my dad got rid of that bike, and he bought a Honda XL, I think 100, the green one. It was like the enduro kind of type of bike. And I'll never forget. Now my sister, my middle sister, she ended up riding that bike. When my brother wasn't home, not knowing it, he got so mad. They were getting a major fight with each other because she's out there blasting around in the front yard in the neighborhood and everything. My sister even liked to ride motorcycles. It's kind of interesting. My sister never evolved past that of wanting to ride motorcycles more. She got older, but anyways, anybody here that's a real motorcycle head, the odds are you got going in the dirt. I mean, that's where I started. I was riding YZ80s, YZ125s, and KTM 200, EXC, Jack Planner Edition, then the four-wheelers, the ATVs and all. Never got into snowmobiles. Just about did if I would have stayed up further north for a while. And so, and then I had the Talons, the side-by-sides, all those things. And so the motorcycle, what is it about motorcycles? I mean, for me as an individual, what is it about just getting out there on a motorcycle? Until you ride a motorcycle, and I'm talking more about motorcycle riding out more in the open roads, not the traffic. I mean, motorcycle riding, like when we're down there in Florida, it's just like the worst. It's the worst in those packed areas till we can kind of get out of that congested area and on the open roads. It becomes so much more fun. But when you're in that traffic, and especially in the summer months, I've ridden down there many times in summer months, you're gasping for breath because the heat off the asphalt is just sucking everything out of you. It's just dreadful. I mean, it's just bad. So anyway, so my passion for motorcycles over the years, what's interesting, so many years ago, I kind of started my YouTube channel. If you look at the history of my YouTube channel, it evolved from me showing me putting exhaust on my Harleys like 10 years ago. So that was like my true beginnings of starting a YouTube channel. And it was kind of under a different name, but it's just me was showing my fun with my Harleys. And even though for me, when I was younger, I was the Jap guy. I was the rice burner guy. I had a Yamaha 550 Maxim when I was in high school. So I was always more about the Yamaha Honda product over the Harley Davidson, the AMF product at one time in the 70s. And I've talked about this many times. It's incredible how Harley Davidson in the 70s was able to kill the bill of the government trying to mandate the banning motorcycles, street motorcycles. Isn't that incredible? Just incredible. All this stuff that gets thrown up in bills. And if you don't have the right people paying attention, these bills get passed. And just be unbelievable how people accept these bills get passed. So we're talking modern times too. So anyways, the reason I'm talking to motorcycles is because that Honda Goldwing so brought me back to that Honda Goldwing. What's interesting with the Honda Goldwing, I was never a Honda Goldwing fan until 2018, but if I'm correct, there's a 2018 original Goldwing and then 2018 updated and redesigned, re-engineered Goldwing. And so the re-engineered one, it's a sport bike in design. It's just a sport bike in disguise. That bike is so fast and so back roading capability. I mean, it's interesting. I wonder why Honda isn't in the bagger series, but I guess it's because it's a liquid cooled. I don't know. I never thought of that. I wonder why Honda isn't competing against the baggers of the Indians and the Hurleys. Isn't that interesting? What's the classification for you to do that? That would be pretty cool. I'm surprised Honda's not doing that. Just for exposure, advertising. If anybody knows that, it's the cafe style bike racing with the bagger bikes, which they're modified. The bags are chopped, and it's a whole different bike. But it's a pretty cool series. It's a growing series and a growing viewership too. You got to tune in and watch it. It's pretty neat. So, anyways, I really kind of just disconnect myself from the Goldwing, and really, the 2018 model, it had its quirks, and that's a 2021 model, and they had 3 years, I think, to work it out, because originally I got the DCT. So a lot of people like the automatic transmission, no way. Well, until you drive those things and see how wicked fast they are, you just don't understand. It just blows away the guy stick shifting. It's like a car. It's like the cars today. A dual clutch transmission GT500 versus a manual transmission JT500. The dual clutch is going to take the manual because it's just a faster shifting car over the human instincts and capabilities. So for the Honda, you could get the manual, but I understand now you can't even get the manual on these Goldwings, I think, right now. I'm not real positive on that, but I think possibly. They've totally gone this dual clutch transmission. Well, the first generation, I was the guinea pig. I was the guy right out of the gate, got the brand new models, and I got the fully Tour airbag edition. And then a month later, I bought the non-Tour, non-airbag, but they're both DCT. And what's really cool about these bikes have the reverse button. So if you park your bike down the angle, you realize or not, you have to be really prepared when you're riding your motorcycle and know where you're going, because if you park your big Tour bike down a slope that you got to push it backwards, good luck. But with the Honda Goldwing, you don't have to worry about that. It has a reverse feature where it reverses it out on its own as you balance it. That's a really cool feature. But what I didn't like about the 18 model, the DCT had a lag. It had a total dead zone. So when you're in really low speeds and you want to navigate that motorcycle and keep yourself balanced without having to put your feet down and make a sharp turn or slow down to kind of balance yourself with the traffic going really slow, it would have a lost moment. So when you kind of give it that gas, it wouldn't do anything. And then it would take off. And it totally kind of plays with your total mind and how your balance is, where you just about fall over because you give it gas and you're expecting to pull back, but you don't. And so you kind of lose your eye-hand coordination, your body movement. Well, that was a big negative. And it was talked about in the Honda Goldwing community, for many years. Well, Honda refined that, and this new bike doesn't have that issue. So I used to put it in sport mode on my Honda Goldwing to overcome that inertia, that you lost that inertia, because you have a Tour mode, you have a rain mode, and you have a sport mode. I think you got 3 modes: Tour, rain, sport. I think even eco. It's just so much information. Those motorcycles have so much technology in them. And one of my guys' comments was, making kind of a jest at me that you don't even know about that bike. It's that bike has so much technology information on it. For you to Bluetooth your headset to that actual Honda Goldwings infotainment center, that's a major pain in the butt. And it gets very dynamic when you have your cell phone and you have a Bluetooth in your helmet, and you Bluetooth your helmet, but then if you want to Bluetooth that all back to the motorcycle to see incoming calls, Apple Play, it's very challenging to have that stuff all merge and to work together. It's confusing. It really is. And it's aggravating as all get out of all the damn controls. But anyway, so 2021 I picked up on Friday. That just re-emphasized to me how nice that Honda Goldwing product is. And even the point that if I didn't have my kids so addicted to Harleys, would I get a full Tour model again? I would. I really would. because the full tour model gives you so much more carrying capacity, so more things to do. And what people don't know that watch my channel, if I would have had a YouTube channel 10 years ago that was active, 2012, 13, 14, 15, you would have seen me ride around. I'm not making this up. I used to ride around the Beltway, ride through DC, and I used to work off my motorcycle. And I did this stuff 2-3 days a week. And I used to have my father, who at that time, 10 years ago, he'd have been 81 years old. He rode in the back of my Street Glide, initially, not even a rear sissy bar, just holding on to me. Then I got a rear sissy bar. And yeah, he rode around my Street Glide with me on a regular basis as we worked off the motorcycles. And I rode around the Beltway, and I mean, just, yeah, a lot of work. I mean, because you're getting off and on the bike 15, 20, 30 times in the daytime. And I had all my tools, my equipment, but I would do it. I just loved motorcycle riding so much. And what you don't know is my wife, when she became pregnant in 2004, I was up in Battlefield Harley in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and I was getting ready to buy a Harley Davidson Willie G special edition model, like I don't know if it's a Night Rider, Sportster, I can't even tell you, because I was never really a Harley guy. So this thing was beautiful. So I called my wife on the phone, and she's at work. And she's like, really? She's like, do you realize you have a kid? You have a kid in my belly right now? I'm like, yeah. She's like, no. She's like, not right now. She's like, no, you're not going to do that right now. I'm like, all right. I mean, not for me. I'm like, right. You're right. This is not a good decision. You're pregnant, and I need to be here when the kid comes in this world. And you're right. So I was like, okay. But a beautiful bike. So it wasn't until 2012 that my wife finally, being married now, for like, I guess 15 years, my wife came to closure. It's like, all right, you can get a street bike, and that's the thing. People watch my channel, and yeah, my wife, she thinks she doesn't agree all the craziness I do, but at the same time, she sees who I am, and she kind of, I guess, says, I can say she deals with it. So, yeah, but there comes to a point, too, where you have to look at your wife and say, hey, I want to buy a motorcycle. And if the wife's adamant, like, no way, then you've got serious challenges. Because if you don't have that love there, that's the only thing about motorcycling. If you don't have that support there, because everybody knows motorcycles are dangerous. And that's the negative, is because unfortunately, hear people dying on motorcycles, even though it's 3,000 roughly people a year to 46,000 people dying in cars in this country every year, but we all get it. You get in an accident, motorcycle, the odds are you're severely injured. You get in an accident, a car crash, the odds are you'll probably walk away. So it's a huge difference in the crash statistics. But at the same time, 46,000 people die a year in car crashes, but there's millions and millions of cars in the road, not millions and millions of bikes in the road. So anyways, the whole point here is, for me, talking about motorcycles this morning, I'm just sharing my passion and my what's going on here? Dogs are barking for no reason. It's my passion and love for motorcycles, and for me, since I have so many different brands, and I get to ride so many different motorcycles, because I've had the BMW and Triumph motorcycle, had the Triumph Tiger, I've had the BMW 1200, the 1250, and I've got the Honda Fury, and I've got the Honda Goldwing, and I got the Harley Davidson Street Glide, and I've had the non-CVO Street Glides and the CVO Street Glides, and I've had the Road Glide CVOs, and I got a Road Glide. So I've had so many different brands and different models. And then the Indian line kind of came in way late, because I really sat on the sidelines so long to believe that Indian was going to be around and was going to be supported. And they got the quirks worked out. And so for me, the Indian motorcycle, as far as just the ride and the product, it's really is the better motorcycle in certain categories. And for me now, owning the Street Bob, I can honestly say the Street Bob is more fun than you could say like the Chief. Chief is a really nice motorcycle. It really is.
But that Harley retro, just a Harley, what makes Harley Davidson Harley Davidson, and if you're a motorcycle enthusiast, you get that statement. You can't beat the Street Bob. And I think that if I was a person, I had to make a choice between the Indian Chief or the Street Bob. Boy, I tell you, it'd be hard, but I think the Street Bob would probably win if you just really want that retro type of look and ride. I mean, I can't emphasize enough. My daughter's not my mind. My daughter would, if I sold every motorcycle I have, she'd be adamant about keep the Street Bob, keep the Street Bob. You sell the Indians, keep the Street Bob. I mean, that's just how nice that setup is. But then when you go to the Street Glide Special against the Chieftain and the Indian wins. When you go to the Roadmaster Indian, which is the full tour setup motorcycle, it's the same as a Chieftain, but it's just the tour package with the rear luggage and the lowers, maybe heated seats, heated grips, bigger windshield. The Roadmaster wins over the Harley Davidson Limited, the tour pack setup, because the Harley Davidson is such a cramped motorcycle. The controls and everything, you're so much more cramped. And I'm not a real big guy. I mean, a guy that's, I don't know how these 6'2" guys, 6'4" guys can be comfortable in Harleys. And if I was that size and I went to a Indian and sat on an Indian, you're going to see the foot controls, the handlebars, your whole body posture. It's just a whole different motorcycle. And it's actually a more stable motorcycle. The center of gravity is more down the bottom of the bike than on top of the bike. The Harleys, they have so much weight up top of that motorcycle that when you go to get it off the kickstand, it's like moving a lead sled. It's like, ugh. The Indians have more refined their balance and their weights in the lower part of the motorcycle. So you go to pick it up, it's like, pew, it's like no big deal at all. It's night and day. It's like half the resistance of getting a bike off the kickstand from Indian to Harley. So anybody who's looking around for a motorcycle that wants as you get older in life, it's all about managing your energy and trying to be safer and work smarter. The Indian motorcycle, I think, takes it all day long. It's just a better, refined, more balanced, engineered motorcycle. But then the Harley-Davidson whole paraphernalia, the whole dealer network, the whole Harley world, I mean, it's a whole different ball game. It's a more connected, more supportive, it's just more of a community that you feel so much more loving. And the Indian is more challenging because it's usually multi-brand dealerships. So it's not all dedicated to Indian. It's very challenging for Indian dealer to be just one brand and survive. And so the Harley atmosphere is a better environment. But the Indian motorcycle, when we're talking different categories of motorcycles here, I just feel strongly that the Indian is the better product. Anybody here who's watching my channel and, the page, I want to get into motorcycling and stuff like this, I would tell you, if it was me, I would go buy a Scout Bobber as your beginner bike. It's so low to the ground, and it's such a really nice, it's a beautiful motorcycle. It's a blast of motorcycle. And I have tons of videos on my channel, if anybody's watching my channel first time, of all these different motorcycles I'm talking about that you can watch and see how my daughter sits on them and sees how she rides them. And you can see the different stance. You can see on the Super Limited the Chief Super Limited that I bought this past January, if you look at the way my daughter's sitting on that motorcycle, her body proportion and the length of everything so much bigger and spread out compared to her Street Bob, you'll see the you'll just be like, wow, that really is a big difference. But anyways, anybody that's looking to get kind of going in the motorcycle world, I would buy a Scout Bobber. I mean, now keep in mind, Harley has brought some redesigned Sportsters into the new markets, so I don't know a lot about those. I think that's probably a great choice as well because they've re-engineered them, and I haven't had a chance to drive one. And so I think that that's something to consider as well. The 500cc Anybody here thinking about getting into motorcycling, I would definitely take the motorcycle classes. Harley Davidson offers them, and they're offering them with these brand new Sportsters that they brought to the market. So that'd be really cool. You're going to get to ride that Sportster and really get to know that motorcycle. And you're going to be probably like, yeah, I think I really want one of these. But at the same time, you may want to go ride a Scout just to make sure that's the right decision for you. And if you watch my videos, my goal is to always try to get out in the country. A lot of people comment on my channel, yeah, I gave up motorcycle riding. The roads are getting dangerous. They have, no doubt. And people are like, it's all congested. And yeah, I mean, for myself, I just can't. If you got to spend an hour to get out of your area to get to a area to go ride in the country, that's going to be tough, because if you're going from light to light to light, that's going to be challenging. Fortunately, I live a little further west of this DC metro area, and then I have family in Tennessee where I get to enjoy the Smoky Mountains. Then in Florida, it's not too bad. I'm about 30 minutes usually to kind of get out, start busting loose of kind of open area if I want to go north up there in Florida. So that's really nice down there. But the real fun is once you got out from being in traffic and you can just go up the road, and it's just incredible. Motorcycle riding for me, you get to escape your routine, and you get to just feel like you've got freedom, which more than ever, I think so many here that are watching my channel and others around us, they just want their freedom. I mean, it's just incredible on how it's as individuals, isn't our goal in our own lifetime is to have freedom? Isn't that something? I mean, you think about this. Most people want to be able to make a living where they're self-sufficient and they can just have their freedoms, because they can manage their time when they want to manage their time and work when they want to work, and have a freedom to do what they want to do. Isn't that where we are? But yet in today's world, we're just witnessing more than ever a society that we're seeing the freedoms are being taken away, and others are abusing the respect of others. And if you're watching Twitter, if you watch Twitter, it's beyond believable to watch what is going on in these inner cities of people that are stealing from others, beating others up, and the anger and the madness. And you just think to yourself, what is driving this? I mean, what is driving the total craziness that we're witnessing in these cities? Wow. I mean, it's beyond believable of what is going on. Right now, actually, Fox Business News right now is showing video of people just, deliberately wanting to kill them. Just incredible. Wow. Anyways, all right, I'm not going to go down that. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I thought I'd talk about the motorcycles because I love motorcycles. Freaking how many motorcycles do I own right now? Wow. I mean, how many? I think I own 12. I mean, I own 5 Harleys, and I own, let's see, the Indians. I think I own 4, right? That's 9. I own 2 Hondas. I got a dirt bike. I got an Enduro Honda. So if you count that, I own 3 Hondas. That's 12. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the love of motorcycles, right? And I need to get to Tennessee to go check on my Indians. And hopefully here in the next week or 2, I can get to Tennessee. And hopefully here in May, I'm going to be going down to Florida to spend time down there. And I got 2 motorcycles down there still that I need to bring back home up here. Oh my gosh. Just Jesus Christ. Too much information, right? But anyways, hey, I just thought I'd share my love of my motorcycles and just share my views. And I really didn't expand too much more on the Honda Goldwing product. It's just a whole different product. Overall, reality of the best overall touring motorcycle. And, keep in mind, you have BMW. I get that. You have other manufacturers out there. But I'm just saying in general, from what I own, if it wasn't all about the noise and the look and the kids' love for the Harleys, the Honda Goldwings, where they are today with the advancements they've made on those bikes, that's the bike. But the downside to those motorcycles is The seat is very wide. Why they did that, I do not know. It's extremely wide. So it really does kind of wear on you. You definitely would have to, I'm sure there's seats out there that are narrower for that motorcycle, which even for me, if I rode that motorcycle more, I'd probably look into that because the seat is just too wide. And it wears out your inner thighs or it stretches your legs out. Older people, the sales guy at the dealership, when he brought it around to get out in the parking lot, he told me his legs cramped up because it's just so wide. So that's a drawback in that. But once again, incredible machine, Honda Goldwing. Incredible confidence, braking, stopping, leaning, accelerating, comfort, Honda Goldwing all day long. So if it's all about you just want an incredible motorcycle, I would look into a Honda Goldwing. Yeah, there's the Beamers out there, everything else. I know that, but I'm just telling you, the Honda Goldwing, wow, incredible motorcycle. That's what I would look at. But if you want the exhaust note, you want the V-twin air-cooled motor between your legs, and you want that rumble, then yeah, you're going to be looking at the Indian or the Harley. So anyways, hey everybody, thanks so much for watching my channel. And once again, what are we doing today? Yeah, what's the next adventure, right? Even for me. Oh, I don't know if you saw the short video I did. The Dodge Challenger, they nicked the right rear wheel and the front right wheel. The right rear one's the most, but yeah, beyond unbelievable. Somebody backed that car up against the curb and they scraped up the right rear wheel. And I knew this stuff. I knew when I took that car to that dealership to separate myself from that car, just to try to clear my head up if I really let it go for that Wagoneer. And that's why I did that on Thursday evening. And so that car went over Thursday evening, picked up the Grand Wagoneer Friday morning, and then but Thursday evening I figured out how to make this deal go. So the car was there from Thursday evening through Friday and through Saturday. Yeah, that car was gone for 2 days, and I knew that car being gone, the odds are something would happen to it. They parked it in a regular parking spot in front of the dealership where somebody could have pulled in and easily ding the hell out of it. I mean, just that. And here is what people don't understand is it's full disclosure, right? Well, I was full disclosure on how that Ford Bronco had a little chip in the windshield. And I said, look, it was a small chip that never expanded. I got back December of last year, right when I got into Florida last year. At the last minute, this rock, about an hour out from my parents' house, hits that front windshield and puts a freaking, chip in it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. But it never expanded. So I never made a claim. Because if you have these flat windshields on these Broncos or Wranglers, they're notorious for getting rocks and chips. And it's not worth replacing your windshield until it gets into be a really radical crack. And so I held off. I never did it. So at the last minute, when I gave that truck on Saturday, I said, here, full disclosure, the window has a crack in it, or I should say has a chip in it. And I think you could probably epoxy it and maybe fix it. But they're like, hell no. You got to replace the windshield. I'm like, I will. But I'm telling you, you probably, maybe I'm a glass expert, maybe fix that. But whatever. Whatever you want to do. So I went ahead and made the claim, and I got the windshield replaced. Well, being that vehicle is Florida tagged, you don't pay for the windshield. So there isn't any money in my pocket. If it's Virginia tagged, that would have been, $1,000, $1,200 bill. And I have very high deductibles, so I would have had to pay that bill out of my pocket. But anybody that lives in Florida, you don't get free windshields. The insurance is triple, quadruple. That Bronco in Virginia will be $800, $900 a year insurance. In Florida, it's $3,000 a year, $2,500 a year. So it's like, how do you have free windshields? You're paying through your insurance policy already. Hello. All right, everybody. Hey, I'll leave it at that. I can talk all day, can't I? Hey, thanks again for watching my channel. Appreciate the support. Stay tuned, stay safe, and God bless.